Hey guys, what's up? So guys, Twitter पे I am fairly active and on Twitter I follow this handle called the Spectator Index. तो ये handle क्या करता है? They like share statistics, interesting statistics about the world. And recently they shared this statistic which like completely blew my mind. And I wanted to share it with you. तो वो statistic क्या था कि 1910 से 2010 तक in this 100 years how have the major religions of the world changed, like as percentage of world population. So how have the religions been affected in these 100 years? So for example, if we see Buddhism, so 1910 Buddhism was around 8% of the world population, and even in 2010 it is 8% of the world population only. So percentage wise it is more or less the same. Similarly, if you look at something like Chinese folk religion, I have no idea what this is, probably some Chinese Taoism or something. So इस religion को अगर आप देखो तो it has gone down from 22 to 6%. So this religion has declined. आप अगर देखो Christianity को, the number one religion in the world based on the number of people, Christianity, then it has more or less remained the same only at roughly 33%. Even in 100 years it has remained more or less at 33%. Coming to Hinduism, again more or less the same, around 12 to 13%. मतलब slight increase हुआ है, but not a dramatic increase. Now if we come to Islam, that is the Muslim religion, this has actually gone from 12% of the world population to 22% of the world population. So it has increased a lot. 10% it has increased. And in fact, if you do not know this, Islam is also the youngest religion in the world. But even that is not the most interesting part of this statistic. There is actually a religion listed in this list which has gone from 0 in 1910, 0, virtually tha hi nahi, to 10% of the world population in 2010. Now mind you, 10% of the world population in 2010, yani ki this religion has more people even than Buddhism. Buddhism is at 8%. And do you know which religion is this? It is Agnosticism. Agnosticism, yes. Now technically of course you can say, hey, Agnosticism is not really a religion, but it is there in the list. So we have more people who are agnostic than who are Buddhists. And see, this was from 2010. So in the last 10 years, I am for sure that there are more people who are agnostic today as compared to Hindus. And agnosticism kya hota hai, for those who do not know? So there is something called atheist. Atheist is a guy who will say, I do not believe in the concept of God. There is no God. There is no imaginary creature in the sky. This is an atheist. An agnostic will come and say, I do not know whether there is a God. I don't know whether there is a God. हो भी सकता है God हो भी सकता है God now. So I don't know. और आपको simply बताऊं तो agnostic is basically a polite way of being an atheist. Politely saying that I am an atheist. That is agnosticism. And if we actually think about it, then from 1910 to 2010, in these 100 years, what has changed? Well, people's access to information has become more and more easier, right? Thanks to the internet. If you have an internet connection, you have access to the entire knowledge of mankind. And so as more and more people get educated, they realize that, hey man, this religion and God it's nothing but a man-made construct. Man invented this concept of God. Man invented religion. So as more and more people become educated, I think we can assume that more and more people will become agnostic. और एक agnostic तो अभी he is sitting in front of you right now. तो ये poll 2010 का था. I can guarantee that as of today, 2019, as of today, there are more agnostics in this world than there are Hindus in this world. And let's say by 2050, for sure agnosticism would be like, if you consider it a religion, then it would be the number one religion in the world. I think by 2050 majority of people would be agnostic, because as I said, as more and more people they learn new things, they get educated, they realize that God did not invent man invented God. God did not make man in his own image, as people say that God created man in his own image. No, it was man who created God in his own image. Think about it. This is Kagdiyal signing out.